Friday edition, actually a global edition, world frickin' wide edition of the broadcast today. We got myself, Karen Quintessano, with us, and our good friend Detlev. When a lot of people may not realize this, but this same type of stuff we're talking about every day, liberty and freedom and limited governments and people, living nicely and properly with each other, is being discussed all over the world. And one of the guys that is pushing this heavily in places like Germany and Switzerland is our good friend Detlev. Detlev, how are you?
Oh, hi, Mike. Thanks for having me on your show.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, I mean, that's very kind of you. Well, it's, a lot of things are happening, and over here in Europe as well. It's not just the U.S., where things are strange and getting into a move. Yeah, well, we had, I read the news first because I just got the message here that Greek police actually is threatening EU envoys, thugs as we call them over here, that they will arrest them if they are violating the sovereignty of the Greek state or the Greek people. And that is very encouraging, isn't it? I mean, finally even the police wakes up to all the things happening. Well, what do you think?
Well, in the end, Greece has got a default anyway. I mean, we've been playing this game with Greece now for over a year. Greece comes up with a set of austerity packages, sends them to the EU. Evidently, that doesn't resonate enough in Angela Merkel's bosom, so she sends it back along with the rest of the EU. No, we got to come up with more. The Greek people are striking. They're striking ever greater numbers. And the IMF has come to town, tells the Greek people how they're going to operate their businesses, especially cab drivers. Cab drivers say, no, you can kiss our big fat white Greek hairy asses. We're not going to do it your way. And we end up back and forth and back and forth and back and forth with all this. And so, yeah, it's wild. But I think it's great that the police are saying, look, you come to town, hey, you're going to hang 10 downtown in jail. I like it.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. And as you are mentioning Mrs. Merkel, she's actually not really a chancellor. I mean, that's her title if you want to, but her function is actually just being a general manager, because the Federal Republic of Germany, as I explained this to Vinnie Eastwood the other day, it's just a non-governmental organization. Even the current government, if you want to call this government, actually announced that since 1945, right after the Second World War, Germany has never had sovereignty. So, and if you have a country which is not sovereign, okay, how can somebody like a general manager of a non-governmental organization rule something like the EU? Okay, the European Union. It's also a non-governmental organization because it doesn't have any sovereignty itself.
Right, and then she's got her little minion, Nicolas Sarkozy. Every time I see these two together, it's almost like a scene out of The Sound of Music. The hills are alive with the sound of music. And it's like they're dancing through the prairie and all that kind of stuff. It's like, it's not good news when their two are arm in arm, especially for Greece. And then in Italy, you've got Portugal, you've got Spain, even Britain. The thing is, nobody's talking about Britain. Britain is worse off than Greece is.
They're trying to grease us all up and slide us down there.
Well, there's a whole lot of greasing going on over there.
Yeah.
By the way, Mike, you've got a nice voice.
Well, thank you very much. It's
singing.
Well, I try to, volunteer, audition to be a Von Trapp children.
That's a good one. Yeah, but you see, we are trying to get out of this loophole, sort of, which has been taking on ages now, by gathering together. And we had an interesting conference, you may have asked me anyways, the other day on Wednesday evening, with lots of alternative media and lots of people who are awoken and who are actually trying to put in some changes, at least in Germany. And we had lots of people listening to our show, and we had 5 radio stations simultaneously, playing this conference on internet stream, and that was quite a success. And we are trying to set up something against the matrix media. Matrix media over here, or mass media as you call this over there in the US maybe, they are here as well. They're also in the possession of the banksters.
Yes.
So, it's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, bankers in the military-industrial complex. Military-industrial complex gets their money from the bankers, and the bankers own everything else. And so, it all works. It's a symbiotic relationship that they all have, and each one has their part of the agenda, and they play it all out very nicely.
I think Matrix Media is great, Detlev. I'm going to start using that.
Well, you actually, I got this, the DIMS I got from you. I mean, the dominant insane minority.
That's actually from Rini. She's in the chat room. It's from Maureen, yes. Rini's in the chat room, and she also came up with the DIPS, the dominant inbred psychopaths, and I think I saw that being used on another chat room and stuff. So the more that we can laugh at these people who are trying to torment us, the more we can turn around and let them know that it's fear that they're coming from, and they would be nothing without all the money they've stolen from us and the armies they pay to enforce their ridiculous tyranny. The more we can take away their power, the better off it'll be. So, Matrix Media is good.
Yeah, and I've already decided in a 1984 type world, I'm going to be a pro. I don't need to be inner party, outer party, anything like that. Just make me a freaking pro, and call it good, and I'll be very, very happy. Because I won't have to worry about the mystery meat. What's in the mystery meat? I'll know straight up front it's rat.
That's horrible.
Well, hey, what was it, Demolition Man or Judge Dredd, one of those movies, they say rats make very good burgers. Tastes very tasty. I don't know.
Maybe rat finks. Remember when we were growing up, it was you're a rat fink.
Yeah, well, maybe as G. Gordon Liddy, when he was in jail for Watergate, he actually bit the head off of one, so I don't know.
Oh, man.
Well, isn't that actually an American invention, the Rat Pack?
Yes, yes, indeed. You had Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., and Peter Lorre.
Right,
and
here we go.
Unofficial
Peter Lawford, I'm sorry. Peter Lawford, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Peter Lawford, and unofficial female members, Shirley MacLaine, and I think Ava Gardner.
Yeah.
Wow. We're showing our age here, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's quite a story. Yeah, but the experience I made here, I mean, on Monday, there was a busy week for me. On Monday I had a trial here. A credit card company is suing me for, that I owe them any money. And I declared in front of the judge here in Switzerland that I don't owe anything because, it was lent to Strawman. The Strawman story. And the second thing is, I cited the famous case, Daly versus First National Bank of Montgomery. That's a case out of 68. You may be familiar with that, Mike? I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
I cited this one and said, well, they asked the director of the bank whether this money was actually there. Whether it was something put out of their pocket, if you want to. And he said, no, it was created, when you signed the contract. So it was something completely new, which was not there. So, the Daly won the case, and he didn't have to pay.
Now, how did you fare?
Well, I said, the credit card company actually creates money, but not to me, to the strawman.
Yeah.
Only at this moment, at this particular moment, where you use this funny plastic card.
What was the judge's response to his ruling?
Well, there's there's nothing yet. So they postponed. So they have to, they have to think about this.
Yeah, Bob. Okay. Bang behind closed doors. Don't forget your will.
Detlev, do you have, is it reported in your local papers or anything? Are people following?
Well, hold on. We're going to take a break here. So stay right there, Detlev. Take a break. Come back and wrap on the other side.
All right.
Don't go anywhere. Yeah.
You're listening to UnitedWeStrike.com radio on the International Community Radio Network.
Feels like a feeling, so I call it out. Heaven kneels on the ceiling. about drinks, ink with the worry of the whistle, and happiness is a time turns on a carries and buries its missile. Attracted to me, you breathe right through me. I have no doubt we could do without all this desire.
Join UnitedWeStrike.com radio on the second Saturday of every month for our live international radio marathon. Don't buy, don't comply, ask why.
All day on the nation's only all-terror network. All terror, all the time. Fox, MSNBC, CNN.
The war on terror is everyone's war, and civilization itself is in the balance.
The questions are growing louder, and the White House is furiously backpedaling. What did the president know, and when did he know it?
You're telling me that you're going to fake some terrorist thing just to steal some money out of Congress?
Well, unfortunately, I have no idea how to fake killing 4,000 people. So we're just going to have to do it for real. Don't blame it on the Muslims, naturally. That I get my funding.
You're listening to UnitedWeStrike.com radio on the International Community Radio Network.
Unchain my heart, 'cause you don't care about me. You got me sort of like a pillowcase, but you let my love go to waste. So unchain my heart, oh please, please set me free. Unchain my heart, baby, let me go. Unchain my heart, 'cause you don't love me no more. Every time I call you on the phone, some fella tells me that you're not at home. So unchain my heart, oh please, please set me free. I'm under your spell, like a man in a trance.
I gotta go back into my Gmail.
Got a program here. Yes, we're looking at hunting down numbers. We're going to order a pizza in a minute from somebody local. So Pizza Hut, don't be waiting for our call. I had a great place. Ate a great breakfast this morning. It was actually a breakfast pizza. The one that we have a place called the Water Boy, which is a drive-through convenience store in my town. So you come out and pull up. As you pull into the place, there's somebody waiting there. They say, well, what would you like? And I said, well, what have you got to eat this morning? And they said, well, we got breakfast pizzas. I said, well, load me up a breakfast pizza. And so I brought them home to me and the daughter. And so we consumed our breakfast pizza this morning. Everything was wonderful and dandy. But there we are, and everything's good. So I've had my pizza for the day. I need no more. But now, Detlev, you got this case in court, and so they just postponed it. Were they scratching their heads when you bring your arguments up, or were they asking you little inquiring questions, or they just kind of leave?
Well, the first trial I had in January, the 18th, they had 5 judges in front of me, even, and they actually said, well, I'm guilty. I have to pay, right? But they didn't give any explanation,
right?
So I asked for the explanation, written explanation, and written protocol, right, which I actually asked for in the trial. And then they returned and said, well, yeah, I have to pay, something like 500-600 Swiss francs first before they sent this argument. This is already a violation against the basic rules, I guess.
Wait. They're telling you that you have to pay up before they'll tell you why?
Yeah. So this is going to get a real nice story. I haven't written anything about this yet. I have talked about this in my German-speaking radio, but I will make a real nice article, and I will forward them an invoice of myself, because now I do send them invoices, and I have a fee list, right, for my attendance and my work and so forth, and then then see who is going to win. I will win this publicly because I am speaking out.
Well, and because they're being ridiculous. I mean, that takes a lot of hubris for a judge or a set of judges. I guess they felt more important with 5 of them there to say, well, you've got to pay the debt before we can tell you why. That's almost, well, wait a minute, that sounds like Nancy Pelosi. We got to pass the health care bill before we can tell you what's in it. That's common now, I guess.
It is business as usual.
That's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, they're violating any right, every right, which is existing. Even their own constitution. Can you imagine? So this is going to be real fun for me because I can't lose anything. I can only win because I don't own anything. So they cannot take anything off me. And if they would put me into jail, which is not possible actually, according to Swiss law, and I'm in Switzerland here, and it's also not possible due to the international law, which is there with international right and UN resolution XX and so forth, So that is going to be very difficult, so they cannot win. And I also explained to them that money is worth nothing. I mean, the money system which is currently being handled by the handlers. They're banksters, bankster handlers, So I expose the whole thing. Yeah, of course. I say them they're crooks. I tell them in front of the judges, and I had lots of visitors in my first trial, and also, even local media, but they are not supposed to write about it, because they belong to the Matrix Media Club. Right? But at least they came. So, they were very careful with me, but, And the second trial, this week on Monday, they didn't take a decision, because they said, they told my name, they said my name, hi Detlev, we know you already, okay, and we know your argumentation and you know ours, okay, but we have to, to discuss this internally before we write this, Can you imagine?
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Their eyes were flickering, they were really, and the representative of a credit card company actually mumbled, yeah, that's the system. I explained the system, that money is worth nothing, made out of nothing, and backed by nothing, created by a private bankster cartel. And he mumbled, yeah, that's the system.
If you really want to watch their eyes glaze over when you talk about the banks creating the money out of thin air, tell them they call them the money fairy. The money fairy comes in there and drops a little money dust, and the money appears as she tinkles her wand. Boom. Yeah. Wow. I think that would blow some money fairy.
Oh yeah, money fairy. That's a good
money fairy.
Yeah. And I actually told them I don't believe in this religion of this debt-based money system of private banksters. And according to UN resolution, whatever 20, I think it was, point 2. That I'm not supposed to be a member of any group. I cannot be forced to be a member of a group, right? Sort of. And I said, sorry, I'm not part of this community. I'm not part of this religion. Sorry, you're violating my rights if you want me to take part in this party. Sorry.
And what did they do then?
Yeah, there's nothing yet. So I'm still waiting for their decisions.
Well, I think one of the things so interesting here is here you are taking all these resolutions from the UN that nobody likes, nobody here in America wants any part of, and you're taking these crazy resolutions that they've come up with, and you're basically giving them a UN enema with their own resolutions.
Isn't that that's funny, isn't it?
Yes.
Well,
it's our new world order, It's our new world order.
I just am wondering, when you said that, was there like silence? Did he ring his gavel and say, okay, that's it, and next time? Was there mumbling? When you drop those kind of bombs in there, those verbal bombs, well, it's nothing anyway.
Yeah, sort of. I mean, the judge was completely silent. And the one who took the notes, right, because I asked for verbal protocols, couldn't even follow my speaking. And I said, well, don't worry, I've got this all written here. And I handed over my documents. And my contrary, I mean, the counterpart of the credit card company, he was really trying to disappear in his chair, he got smaller and smaller in his chair. He had no idea that he would be getting such a show.
Great. Are there any YouTubes of this? Do any people go in there and film?
Well, we didn't want to we didn't want to violate any rights, but in case they ask, they would not write exactly what was said. Well, we can prove the contrary. we have documents.
Well, that's interesting stuff, Detlev. I can't wait to hear the resolution to this and to see what their opinion is, because they're going to have to write an opinion now.
But it's also only the first stage. I mean, I have the right to go up into the next level, and the third, and then even international.
Yeah, well, we'll see what's in their briefs when they file them, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm waiting for that. Well,
you're international now.
Yes, you get this international attention, so that so when people worldwide are hearing about this, and so now others are going to want to know how Detlev's case with the strawman argument in Europe works. You might find a bunch of people starting to ask you that question. Regarding the strawman, but that's going to be interesting. I can't wait to hear the resolution of it all. And Detlev, thanks for coming on here for about a half hour with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Mike, and also Karen. See you later sometime.
All right, thank you so much, Detlev.
Thanks so much, Detlev. Yeah, so Detlev, there he is getting it done in Germany, and in Switzerland, and all throughout Europe, and they've got a growing group of folks that are just all of a sudden, they went from nothing to 4 or 5 radio stations that are there, and they're getting right after them. We're going to take a break here. Come back in a minute with more as we roll into hour 2 of the Mike Chambers radio program on United We Strike Friday. We do it each month. So we'll be back in a minute with more of hour 2. We're going to talk about birthing in the next hour and the trauma it creates. You're traumatizing your child and you don't even know it. Back in a second.